I've been going through your resume and your list of clients and everything that you've worked on, and honestly, there are so many things that I want to ask you because from seeing this list, you're pretty much, worked on almost every album that has influenced me personally significantly.
Hmm.
So I'm interested to hear what are your, I'd say, proudest moments in terms of projects that you've worked on, something that, have influenced you and, maybe you're proud of in showcasing to other people when it comes to your work.
A lot of my proudest moments are with Slipknot.
Amazing. Yeah.
Because we went from day one
Hmm.
with them. I mean, their first Ozfest show, I was there.
Wow.
So, it's like when I got them on the Tonight Show, like
Oh, wow.
to me, that was huge. You
Hmm.
know, when I got them on the cover of Alternative Press, that was the first magazine cover I had ever gotten. The wild thing is they're really hard workers too. And I felt like we came up together almost.
Hmm.
And with Nickelback too. I mean, Nickelback seemed a lot more made for the TV stuff.
Hmm.
But I had them on the Tonight Show a few times, and
Hmm.
I had them on Conan, and I had them, and like I went to award shows with Nickelback. Like
Hmm.
some of the craziest like achievements were with those two bands. And there's, I have a soft spot for both. Like I matured as a publicist and as a marketing person and as a music executive with those two bands.
Hmm. That this is amazing. What would you say, are the most difficult or the most valuable lessons that you've learned through this whole process, especially in the early years of developing yourself as a professional and being in the middle of the development of what we can call in a retrospective such significant projects.
I've learned that it's not about you. That's what I've learned.
Mhm.
Like, it's not about me. Even some stuff that happens, like, you have to assume that someone either doesn't realize how you see things or like isn't thinking about you when they do something, because I think a lot of times, and that comes with age too, like in your 20s you think everything's about you. There are, everybody's kind of trying to get through the day,
Yeah.
and not everyone thinks about you when they make a statement or do a thing, or
Mhm.
so some things that you think like you were being offended or you were being left out or whatever, it wasn't intentional. And that's
Mhm.
something you have to realize through time. You do realize that, but that's a sorry, that's
That's
a big
fine.
lesson I learned,
Yeah.
was that it's not about you.
Yeah, and I guess this is, a very valuable mindset to whatever you do anyway, because at some point, I guess this can hinder your objectiveness and just being professional towards something. You've worked with, so many artists and such a big amount of music. And would you say that it's important for what you do to actually, enjoy the product? And we sort of covered that earlier, but I mean, do you think that you can do your best work if you don't think the product is good enough, or do you
Well,
manage to make it work?
I'm also a terrible judge of these things.
Okay.
So I mean, when they played "How You Remind Me" for me, I
Mhm.
was like, "Is that the hit?" And they were like, "Yeah."
Well,
So
wow.
that's what taught me I don't know what a hit is.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is, personal opinion, it's so subjective.
Hmm.
So, I just need to know why the people that like it think it's good.
Hmm.
And if I know that, I can do my job really well.
Such an interesting perspective, and I'm asking you because uh, I've talked with many people, especially when it comes to big projects, sort of starting from the ground. And I'm curious to, I was curious to hear whether you can sort of pinpoint, a hit, as you've mentioned, or something that would become very influential on the spot.
Not me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not good at that. What I'm good at is finding out who's going to like something and finding the people that will like it and getting it to them.
Interesting.
That's pretty much what I'm good at. I'm not an A&R person. Like, I decided to manage a band recently, and they're called All the Pretty Things. And I heard their music and I instantly fell in love with it. And something told me, okay, it's time, because I'd been asked to manage bands before that, but I'd never wanted to do it. These guys, something just hit me with them. Something hit me. Something said, this is the band you want to work with.
That's a very, interesting outlook. And you've mentioned that, you are good in terms of associating a certain product to its respective audience and making sure that you're putting the right things to the right people. Can you walk me through this process for you? Is it like based on intuition? Is it a gut feeling? Is it a sort of
research?
It's research.
It's research. Like when I hear a band, I guess let me liken it to what I'm doing now. Now, I work a lot of diverse stuff, but if I hear it and something about it excites me, then I say yes. So, I'm working a band out of Japan called Man with a Mission. They're wolves.
Yeah.
They wear wolf masks. I think I have worked almost every band that wears a mask in creation. It's wild. In the beginning with Slipknot, people thought it was a gimmick. And people were like, oh, what are they, insane clown posse? And I'm like, no, I don't accept that. You need to listen to the music, because when you listen to the music, you'll get it. Don't go on looks alone. But I thought that the wolf thing was very interesting, and they do a lot of anime soundtrack stuff. And I love anime, and I've worked on Comic-Cons.
Oh, wow.
So that's why I work with that band from Japan. I'm working with a band from India now that called Bloodywood, that combine like traditional Indian sounds with metal. And that's so interesting to me. I love Indian music. That's everything's got some hook. So when I find that hook, for instance, with the Japanese wolves, Man with a Mission, I go to my Comic-Con lists and I say, this is different. It's music coverage, yes, but they're the soundtrack to every anime thing that you love.
Whoa.
So, and so I can work them that way. Yeah, I can do straight up music stuff, but there needs to be more than just this is good music, because that's not enough, unfortunately, these days.